Hey guys, Sav here, and today I want to talk about the Auric Basin meta event, uh, where we left off on the story during Let's Play. I was entering Auric Basin, so we haven't really gotten to see Auric Basin yet. But like my last video where I did a Verdant Break, about the Verdant Break meta event, I just want to talk about the Auric Basin meta event a little bit. This event's a little bit more organized overall, or needs a little bit more organization, I should say. It's a little more concentrated, whereas the Verdant Brink meta event is kind of just like all over the place. The meta event for Auric Basin is very there's a defined goal for it. And now it starts out where there's a bunch of little events all over the map. But the majority of these events have to do with securing pylons, which are located all around the map. There's 4 main pylons, and for each of those main pylons, I believe there's 3 little pylons that power the main pylon, or something like that. So basically, you have to power up all 4 of the main pylons, and by doing that, you have to do a series of events, basically, killing Mordrum, clearing out areas, and securing these pylons. And that takes up a good, I would say an hour and a half of the map. It's probably actually more than that, or less than that. It's probably more like an hour or 15. I'm not exactly sure the time. There's definitely timers that you can find on the internet. If you just look up event timers for Guild Wars 2, you will find them. But it's like it is like Verdant Brink in the sense that it runs on a schedule. And unfortunately, however you want to look at it, all 4 of the new maps in the expansion do run on some kind of schedule. So it is definitely worth your time to look up the event timers if you want to get in on specific events. Anyway, so you secure the 4 pylons, and once that's done, after a certain amount of time elapses, the main event will start beginning. And the first phase of that is actually something you may have saw me do in the beginning of the video. Where basically you start with a series of there's 4 different mini games you can play, more or less. I don't know what all of them are. I know one of them is like a mushroom soccer game where you have to kick mushrooms at a larger mushroom, and if you hit the larger mushroom a certain amount of times, you win that mini game. And basically, what happens in these little mini games, and the one in this video was like a boxing match where you basically walk or run around and punch other people. But and then, like I said, there's 2 other ones. But basically, what the idea behind these is if you win, you get exalted armor, and the exalted armor basically look like a giant exalted, and you have to go to your job is to stay in the exalted armor because you'll get a golden exalted armor and defend people as they complete the main event. So once all these mini games have completed, it takes about 10 minutes for all 4 different mini games to go through all their different progressions. There's a certain amount of armors that are given out for each section or each mini game, and each mini game coincides with one side of the main city. And there's 4 sides of the main city: north, south, east, and west. So there's 4 games for there's a game for north, a game for south, east, and west. Once all those are completed, then the main event will begin, and that will be defending the city of Tahrir, which is in the center of Auric Basin. So everybody will go in, whether it's north, south, east, or west, and the map should be split up rather evenly, depending on what's really needed. I know east and I think it's north and east are the easiest. So everybody goes in, and there's going to be what's called an octavine that is blocking the passage into the middle of the city of Tahrir. And the job is to basically destroy this octavine. And north, south, east, and west all have different ways of doing this, depending on which one you go to. So north will use acid throwers. And you basically have to pick up a turret and from one end of the map, basically by the steps, and walk it across the area to the octavine, drop your turret, and hit the 1 skill to basically shoot the octavine. East, you need updraft mastery, and bouncing mushrooms are recommended. Which is basically what I'm doing right here. I believe this is east. You're gonna grab mushrooms and you're gonna glide across the map here and throw the mushrooms at the octavine and they will blow up like bombs. West, you're going to transform into a little mushroom and run across the map, and you have different abilities to try to avoid the enemies, but basically if you don't avoid the enemies, it kills you. But if you do avoid the enemies, you get you blow yourself up more or less, but you also spawn back as a normal character after. And then South, which is probably the biggest pain in the ass of them all. A lot of knockbacks and pulls are going to be needed for South. So basically, like your guardians with the hammer, banish, or greatsword, 5 pull, or even there's other ways of doing it as well. I believe Mesmer's Ellie's are good as well. They have to. The Exalted have a bomb that you have to again push your pole, with CCs across the map into the Octavine. That is a pain in the ass. That South is by far the hardest. You don't have as many layers protecting the Octavine as you do it as others, but it's still it takes a long. It's South is usually the last one ready. Usually. At some point in this video, you will see me leave east where I started and go south to jump in an armor and try to help South. As a thief, I don't have any good knockbacks, so it was a lot easier for me to just jump in an armor and try to help clear the path of the trigger blossoms. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to show up on this video, but you will see that in this video. So anyway, once that's all done, once you've basically gotten the Octavines to a certain amount of health, and again, it's going to take some kind of map coordination. Everybody's going to need to let everybody know where they're at or whatever. You will all get to the point where you're basically just usually on South. You're usually waiting on South, and everybody will just stand and wait until South catches up. When South catches up, they will be the first one usually to take down their Octavine, and then everybody else has 2 minutes to kill their Octavine as well. If the overall timer gets to 2 minutes, then everybody just burns theirs anyway, because you only have, like I said, a 2 minute window to coordinate all the Octavines going down. If you are successful in doing that, then you win the meta event. If you're not successful and one of the Octavines was not destroyed within that 2 minute window, then the Octavines that were destroyed will reset to half health. I have been on a map before where there was plenty of time left, where somebody, one of the sides went way too soon, and we were able to still salvage it in the end. It's not common, but it is possible, so don't give up if that does happen. But it's going to be based on how much time is left in the overall meta event. You do only have a certain amount of time. I believe it's 20 minutes. I'm not 100% sure for the entire event to complete. Regardless if you succeed or fail, however, the middle will eventually open. I guess a little bit of a spoiler. If you do fail, one of the Exalted kills himself, and basically, I guess that somehow sets off an explosion or something that kills all the Mordrim. I'm not exactly sure, but he basically sacrifices himself for the good of the city. If you win, obviously there's no need for that, and everybody goes into the middle of the city, and success, yay, everybody wins, and underneath opens. Underneath is already open, but basically a door will open underneath the city. I don't know if I recorded that for this video or not. If I did, you will see it towards the end of this video. Once that door opens, you get to go in and open a bunch of chests, depending on whether or not you succeeded. If you failed, a lot fewer doors will open. It'll depend on the actual overall progress that you made. But the final door will obviously never be open unless you succeed. If you succeed, the final door is open. There's a couple extra chests in there, and there's also a hero point in there that you can only get if you get a successful Octavine meta event kill. And that's more or less it for Auric Basin. Again, I'm going to apologize for this video being silent. Again, when I recorded this, I was watching football, and I had my mic open, and I don't know why, and I apologize for the silent video. But I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I hope you found it informative, and I hope it helps you out in the game. And I will see you guys next time.